Oh, hey. You know what? My startup failed. I started it in June and it failed in the next 2 months. And I want to talk about how it all happened. What was the problem I want to solve? What was the idea? What was the execution? What was the response I got? What were the mistakes I made? And I'll wrap it up with some learnings that I had by starting this service that I did. All right, let's get started. Hey everyone, I am Ishan Sharma and I pursue electrical engineering in BITS Goa, and in this lockdown time, I started my own podcast where I just interviewed a lot of people. And I started my podcast in January of this year, and I learned how everything works in podcasting. I learned editing. I learned how to market your podcast. I learned how to bring your podcast guests. And so I learned all of these things. But honestly, it took me a lot of time to learn this. Okay, like I made so many mistakes when I first started out, and so I wanted to just make sure that the people that are starting podcasts after me don't have to go through this rigorous procedure of making mistakes and learning from it. I am like the Gen Z, so I understand how technology works a little bit better than what most people do who are in their 30s or 40s, and they will be having a lot harder time than what I had by starting my own podcast. So that was the whole problem that I wanted to solve. I want to make podcasting easy for people that want to start their podcasts. Okay, that was the complete idea. Now let's talk about how do I want to solve that problem. So the way that I wanted to solve this problem is by, number one, we had two things. Okay, so number one was I could actually help people learn podcasting. That would be audio editing, marketing, design, and all that. So there will be live classes that I will be doing for these clients, and I will be teaching them how everything works. And I also included how can you get started with YouTube and how can you put your videos on YouTube. Okay, so that was one program. The other program was about me just doing all of their work for them. Okay, so I would be recording their podcast episodes, I would be editing their podcast episodes, and I would be doing everything about podcasting for them, and they wouldn't have to do anything. The only thing that they have to do is to focus on creating a great podcast episode and a great conversation with their guest. So this was the complete idea. The name of the service was Pod Infinity, and the tagline was podcasting made easy. The logo was designed by my sister, so there's that. And the way that I tried to market it was using my Instagram handle and my LinkedIn. I just made a post saying that, hey, I want to create a community of people that want to start their own podcast. And the response was really amazing. I built this WhatsApp group wherein people could just talk to each other and learn from them. And if they want to step up their game, and if they want to get started with podcasting, and if they want to learn from me and from other podcasters, they can approach me and they can get started on a paid plan. Okay, so that was the whole idea that I wanted to implement. Now let's talk about the execution. So once I had these, I got like 100 people in the WhatsApp group, which was a fair amount of people, to be honest. I did not expect that to happen. And then I literally just told them that I will be doing a webinar wherein I will be clearing all your doubts in podcasting, why you should start your own podcast. And at the end, I'll be telling you about this wonderful opportunity that I will be providing. And so this was the whole idea of doing a webinar wherein I would just tell them why starting a podcast right now is very important. And so I did this webinar. It was really crazy. I didn't know how to speak. I didn't know how to present myself in front of like 100 people. I made sure that I have a really good presentation to show them. I think the video is still on my channel. You can take a look at the video. Take a look at this yourself. Hello everyone and welcome back. I am Ishan Sharma and I am the founder of BITScast, which is a podcast that I started 6 months ago. And right now it has 48 episodes and over 15,000 listens across all platforms, right? Including YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I also have my own YouTube channel, which has over 1,000 subscribers, 71,000 views, 72 videos. And today I want to talk to you all about why you should be starting your podcast, what should your podcast be about, and how can you start your podcast, how can you market your podcast, 7-step procedure for you to get started with your first podcast episode. So as you can see, right, it's not the best in the world, but I really wanted to test out and see how would people react to it. And surprisingly, I just got my first customer out of that first webinar itself. Okay, so one person was ready to buy into my services. I would be doing live classes for them, and I would be organizing them every single week for these people. I will be clearing their doubts, and this is what I thought of doing. Now let's talk about the team that I recruited. So I have a bunch of my friends in college who are great at video editing, who are great at audio editing. So I just called up and I was like, hey, would you like to just help me out in this process, and we'll share whatever revenue we end up making. Then what happened is that I wanted to get a lot more customers. So I thought if I would have like 30 or 40 customers, that would be much better than having just 1 or 2 customers, which I think was a mistake. Okay, and so what I did is that I just looked at what Udemy does. If you don't know, Udemy just discounts their courses and it brings it down to like 80% discount, 90% discount, and people end up buying those courses. So I thought that I would also be able to do the same thing, and in that way more people will like to join this program. So I did that. I just came up with a big discount plan. It was like I just brought down all of the prices from 3,000 to like 600 rupees, which was pretty stupid by me. I should not have done that. I think that just degraded the quality of the complete program, and people were like, this isn't like a big deal and they shouldn't really be bothering about this. So that was what I did. Okay, first of all, let's talk about how did I get my customers. So I used to cold call people. Okay, so I would just take up my phone and I would just call them. I would be like, hello sir, good evening, is this a good time to talk? And they would say whatever they want to, and if they say yes, I would be like, okay, cool, so I'm actually Ishan, I got your reference from this person, and I wanted to know if you would be interested in starting your own podcast. And that person would react accordingly, and then I would say, that's really good, can we schedule a meeting and then we can talk about it. I know this sounds completely crazy, but that's what I did. I just randomly called people, and of course I had a few numbers that I got from my father in his network. He just gave me that, talk to these people might be interested in starting their own podcast. So the people who were buying my the service, the live classes that I was doing, were the people who were training consultants or people who were into branding. Okay, so they just wanted to create a brand around themselves, and that's why they wanted to learn about podcasting. And we got like 6 customers after doing that, which again is much better than having one customer. But then I just started doing these classes with these people. It was like 6 classes spread in 6 weeks. So this was the complete idea. And so yeah, I mean, we made some money. I gave the money to my friends and they were pretty happy with it. Now the reason that my startup failed was because I had to resume my college. And if you know anything about college, it's really hectic, and I am also doing my YouTube channel. So it becomes really difficult for me to just organize my college and this Pod Infinity service. This was a good idea. I still believe that if anyone watching this video want to try out this, you can definitely try it out. If you have the experience, the expertise into this, you should definitely give it a try. Podcasting is just growing every single day, and I think that in the beginning of January 2020, they were like 800,000 podcasts, and right now it's like 1.3 million podcasts. It's just crazy, and I would really encourage you to start your own podcast if you want to. So yeah, that's what I did. That was the whole startup of mine. I also got to learn how to create a website and integrate it with a payment gateway. I used Razorpay for this one. It was a great experience for me. I got to learn how to start a business. I got to learn how to talk to people, how to manage expenses, how to manage people. I was having a team of other students who were helping me out run this venture. But yeah guys, that's all that happened. The problem with this is that it's just not scalable, and more importantly, I should have been charging a lot more than that. I should have gone with doing high ticket sales. That's when you aim at getting a few people but charge a lot of money from them. I got about like 7 customers, I think. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You can take a look at the website if you want to. One thing to note here is that you don't need to have like $1 million in revenue to have a business, and you can also start a business and it might be generating just 10,000 rupees per month. But that's okay, because what's more important is if you're able to get traction and if you're able to get more and more customers into whatever service you're offering. So yeah, this was the complete story. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about this. If you have started your own business, let me know what is the story of your own business in the comment section below. Make sure that you share this video with a friend of yours if they are interested into business and startup related topics. this one would be very much helpful for them as well. Thank you so much. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.